do I matter? Am I important to God?
Is my life of any great significance?
How does God see me? A necessity or a burden?
What if everything in the Bible is not for me? What if my flaws are way too much for God to handle?
What do I have to do for God to accept me?
What if everything I think God said about me is not actually God talking?
Does God love me, or I'm just part of the generality?
Will I ever really amount to something?
Dear lovers, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Epoch World. And if this is your first time on my channel, I'm saying a big welcome to you. I'm so glad you're here today. So up on the screen, we've seen a series of questions. We've seen like a short video of a series of questions we asked ourselves. But the question of the week today is, do I matter? Do I matter? Okay, I can go on and start telling you special, no one has your DNA, blah 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 blah. But the story I'm about to share today is the answer to every question written down on the screen. And do I matter? Am I that important? Am I just part of an existence? Is there anything so special about me? And so many questions that we ask, and because we try to find significance, we try to feel special, we try to feel different, which is very normal. It's very, very normal. So yeah. Okay. So the question is, actually the answer to that is shared in the story of grace, a story of love, a story of mercy. Because we think we have to do this to be deserving of this, but it's different with God. And I feel like this will explain so much of it. Okay. Story of grace. The story of grace. I'm going to be referring to 2016 because that was the breaking point for me, and that was the moment I was being prepared for this particular moment that I'm in right now. That was the moment I was being prepared for this particular moment. So yeah, what happened in 2016? 2016 was when I graduated from secondary school, and it was a lovely year for me because I won so many awards and my spiritual life was on point. I think that point I can say my spiritual was on point. I was praying, I was doing devotionals, I was doing so many things. So I would say that year was just the year for me. So I graduated in 2016 July, and in August something major happened to me. I was almost sexually assaulted by someone I would call a spiritual leader. So at that moment I felt so many emotions. I was angry on one side, I was sad, I was ashamed. Most importantly, I felt like with your love for God, because you start to feel like it's your fault. You start to feel like maybe there's something you should have done, something you could have said differently, and then so many things like that. So I drifted from God. I was so ashamed to come back to His presence, that kind of thing. So I think I can really, really understand what Adam and Eve must have felt when they ate the apple. Because it's just like a psychological thing when you're just like, you're too pure for me, just don't worry, I'll just stay here, you're just too good for me, that kind of thing. So my spiritual life was something else. Then sometimes I'll pray and I won't feel God, because I was trying to feel that feeling, that thing I felt when I was in secondary school. I felt like if really, really God was with me, I would feel that thing I felt when I was in secondary school. So I was definitely devastated. Then I resumed late to university because of the federal university strikes, and also we resumed quite late. So when I resumed, my spiritual life was still on and off. So one Sunday I'll go to church, the other Sunday I won't go to church. It was like that. So apparently I was not made an school in my fellowship in church. I was made the welfare. So sometimes it will feel like a burden, it will feel like a responsibility. Okay, then one day, then a series of things happened along the line, and I resigned. I resigned, fam. See so many oppositions. They were like, go to work, this, that, are you supposed to do that? And then, entering university, then they will kind of feel like, what do you know in Christianity? And what am I even saying? It wasn't like it was the leading of the Holy Spirit per se. Now I know it was the leading of the Holy Spirit, but then I didn't know that. I just knew I felt something in my heart that was telling me that this is not the place for me. I wasn't close to God like I should be, but I just felt like no, this isn't it. And I think I was being selective. I was like, no, this is not how it's supposed to be. Like I was still holding on to that feeling in secondary school that I just had that thing in me that I was like, this can't be it. I don't know if you can understand where I'm coming, but where I'm coming from. But I was like, no, this is not it. This is not the place for me. That I know I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I know the spiritual life is not how it's supposed to be right now, but this is definitely not the place for me. So that even caused fights between some friends of mine and all. And I don't actually blame anyone, because when it has to do with the things of God, you have to be extremely careful. You have to also be careful with the things you're advised with. So for people that don't know more than they do, or they don't really understand how these things might work sometimes, might actually just say stay there. Like when you're serving God, yeah, you're supposed to be like that. It's not always convenient. But then I knew it's not a matter of convenience, it's not about a matter of this. I knew that this is definitely not this place for me. So I resigned. My first year, that was the major thing that happened my first year. Say my second year, I moved to a private hostel. And I will start from the beginning because everything adds up at that point. So when I registered for this private hostel, I was given a 6-man room, and I didn't want a room with 6 people because that was how it was in my 100 level. So I was like, when I come to a private hostel, let me just stay in, if I would be in a room with 5 people, let me just stay in my federal, in the school hostel. But then I was like, then I asked the accountant that is it possible for me to get a 2-man room, that kind of thing. She collected my phone. That thing was so dramatic. She collected my phone, and then I was like, oh ma, I might like come back later for another form for as per 2-man side. Then she now said something like, are you alright, or something like that. And I was like, what is going on? Because in her mind she was like, people are rushing this hostel, and then you got a 6-man room and you are still complaining, that kind of thing. Then I was already leaving. In fact, I already called my family friend. I was like, you know what, I don't think this hostel is for me, I'm tired, that kind of thing. So she called me back before I left, and then she was like, the person that wanted to get this room, a 2-man room, is not sure she's going to get it. That can we that I can, if I can pay immediately. Then I called my dad. Very fortunately for me, and to the glory of God, he was able to send the money to me that day, so I paid immediately. It was later on when I was in the room with this present roommate of my Tony Holiday, because she's a very significant story in my grace story. She told me that she was the person that was not sure because she did not want a 2-man side. She wanted a 6-man side, but she was given a 2-man side. That's how complicated it is. So then when she went back, because she had to call her dad to tell him that, oh, I was given a 2-man side, is there money, that kind of thing. So before she got back, they've already given me. So to God be the glory, the other person that was supposed to be my roommate said she did not want the room anymore, so it was available to Tony. So that was how we became roommates. Just look at it. So we became roommates, and my spiritual life was still the same, was still how it was. One thing on, one thing off, that kind of thing. So but I had this love for worship. I loved worship right from secondary school. So I love Hillsong worship. So I was not playing the song one Sunday. Then my roommate was like, oh, my church is like Hillsong kind of church. We sing Hillsong worship. I don't know if I'm saying it right. So I was like, oh, okay. And you know me, church is one day off. Like I had no consistency. Let's just put it that way. So I was like, oh, let me just follow you to your church. So I went to Sycamore Church. That's my church. So I went to Sycamore Church, and it was wonderful. It was beautiful. It was perfect. But then you will not think that because of that, she will not be going to that church. Nope, that was not my case. That was so not my case. It was still one Sunday on, one Sunday off. My roommate was there. She would encourage me. She would do this. She would do that. And to let you know how much God finds you where you are, there's this Hillsong, this song worship that is called "As You Find Me." I think I'll put it down. I'll put the link down for us to listen to that song because it's a complete story of grace. So God put Toyin in my life. So she'll be encouraging me to come to church. Sometimes I'll give her one silly excuse. I'll do this, I'll do that. No problem, no wala. Then it went on like that. She kept encouraging me, and it was quite good. Then I think when God saw that I was not receptive or I could not see clearly, I think that's why they're saying the song, open the eyes of my heart so that I can see you clearly. I did not see clearly at that period because I was too covered with my shame. I was too ashamed to actually still believe that God loved me. And funny enough, the universe, or should I say the devil or earth, has a way of putting some people in your life that make you feel like you're too difficult to love, to make you feel like you're too difficult to accommodate. So you begin to think that that is how God sees you. So you begin to even ask yourself, then why am I still waking up in the morning? Because my dad says one thing, he says every day you wake up in the morning, is God give you another opportunity. And I'm like, why are you giving me another opportunity? You don't even love me. You're too ashamed of me. That, blah blah blah. That went on. So back to where I was. So I think it just went on like that. So I would say God used Toyin to just show me love in the room. So I began to see reflection of love. Then I don't know. Sometimes the Holy Spirit will just minister to me that if someone could be this gentle, could be this accommodating, could love you this way, don't you think I love you more? But I was stubborn. I was still stubborn. Let's not get it wrong. I was still very stubborn. I was still thinking, she's just being a good person, and we are just in the room. You should not be fighting with me. That kind of thing. So that went on like that. And the major point in my life was 2019. That was last year, when I had this almost relationship. I think that was the part where I was broken. I was at my lowest point because this was with someone that I thought could never hurt me. This was with someone that, without even dating, I trusted completely because it happens to be like a family friend, or let me just say my brother's friend. So I would say this is someone that is even supposed to protect me. So I felt, this is my, what's it called? This is the junction. And I kind of like this thing of dating from a young age kind of stuff. It's nice to an extent. But anyway, to cut the story short, there was now a day that something very little happened. And I felt it in my spirit, the way I felt that I should leave my fellowship there. And then the spirit just told me that, no, right before then, when I knew that I was going to get into a relationship with this person, because then we don't even talk to like for up to a month anyway. I think I went back to God, and I think I was listening to someone. I didn't feel like I was that deep with God, but I was just listening to someone. I wanted to make it work. I wanted to make it work by God's grace, by His will, that kind of thing. You get. I didn't have the conviction that it was the one, but you know me now. I carried my head and I entered. You know how it is when you think you are smart on your own. So anyway, and then I felt in my spirit that it's not the one. God, I was broken, fam. I was so angry. I was like, yeah, he's not the one. I know he's not the one. So I definitely cannot. I already knew in my heart that he was not the one. And I have this thing, this gift whereby, no, my God's are actually very, 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 very accurate. Let me just play it that way. So if I feel like this thing is not it, it's not it. Nothing on earth will make it it. It is definitely not it. So that is that about that, as far as that is concerned. Okay. So yeah. It was not a few weeks later then I figured out why this person could not actually be the one for me. So apparently this person even lied. This person was not honest with me. And once again, the feeling that I had in 2016, I felt it again. The issues that I hadn't dealt with in 2016 surfaced. So you can imagine how that must have been. It was a lowest time in my life. I thought I could never recover from that part. I thought I was going to end up a sad old woman. Like it just felt like, come on, like how can people be like this? Anyway, God loves him as much as he loves me. That's just it. Whether I want to accept it or not, that's just it. So I think at that period of time, the usual thing you would expect is that I would draw far from God, but that was not the case. That was not the case. I think that was the time that all my defenses broke down and I was weak. And I think that was the time I really opened up my heart to God. I just opened up my heart and I was like, just take over. I'm tired of holding on. I'm tired of doing it my way. I'm tired of using my human intelligence and just no one, just take over. I'm done. Just use me. Whatever you want to do, Lord, just do it. I'm tired. Because at that period, the Holy Spirit told me that you're not even deep with God. I was not even in any unit. I was not in any unit at all. I was not serving God. I was not doing. I can say I was just the normal church goer. pay offering. I was not even paying tithes. So there was nothing particularly special that I was doing for God that I would say I deserved, but it was there. So with my series of almost assaulted, almost in a bad relationship that would have done more harm to me, I think I took God granted. I felt it was too normal. I was looking for something out of the ordinary. I felt it was just too normal for God to actually have been involved. And the reason why I'm sharing the story of 2016 was because when I was praying to God about what to do with Epoch Hall, he used a friend of my best friend he used it to minister to me, and he told me that I should reflect back on 2016. I should reflect back on 2016 and actually evaluate my life that time. And at every stage in my life, he was there. 2016, when I was far away from him, he was protecting me. He was there. When I entered university, and that fellowship was not the fellowship for me, it took me out. He used something I was familiar with. He didn't have to he didn't have to do something that only someone that was highly spiritual would understand. He used something as little as using my instincts, using my guts to minister to me. He used something I was familiar with because he knew I was weak spiritually. And he used the natural things such as love, having a good roommate, having a matured roommate, a calm roommate, a loving roommate, something so ordinary to me to draw me close to him. I don't know if you can understand what I'm saying. I think most times for those of us that have actually had a relationship with God, we get so familiar with God that we think we know it all. It's just like you reading your Bible, doing this, doing that, and then you think you've done it all. So if you no longer feel God, you begin to wonder, what more can you do? So you don't know, you just let it be. So 2019, after the relationship thing happened, almost a relationship, whatever we want to call it, when it happened, I went back to God and I was like, just take over, that kind of thing. So now that I just think back, even talking about it, I'm like, it can only be God. It can only be God. Because I'm just trying to imagine, like, what if I had a different kind of roommate that was immature, that was all, I don't know how to say it. I don't really know how to put it, but then God used someone that we wake up together, we sleep together in the same room to bring me close to him. And he knew that I still attend Sycamore Church. I've even joined the unit. He knew that, okay, he brought someone that would be in the church that he has ordained for me. Because I don't need someone to come and tell me that Sycamore Church is the church for you. I know Sycamore Church is the church for me. Because it's the church he has ordained for me. So he did not bring someone from Living Faith or Redeem or Baptist or Methodist or anything else. He brought someone from the church he wanted me to be. Like, he has pampered me so much. God, looking at my life, there are so many things that I just think about and I'm like, they never happen to me because he always prevents them from happening. He has pampered me so much that I have become like a perfect last born that does not go through any stress, that kind of thing. And there I was thinking, am I different? Am I special in any way? I hope this story in a way has encouraged someone, has taught someone something, that he doesn't need you to be anything else but yourself. All God wants from us is our willing heart. Are we open to him? And regardless of whether you're open to God or not, he's there. He doesn't leave. He doesn't leave. You might be the one to shift it away, but it doesn't leave. It's right there. And if you open up your heart to him, he's going to minister to you. He's going to help you right where you need it. Our issues differ. And maybe my story today is very little to someone else's story. And maybe it's not even compared to someone else's story. Whatever it might be, God is the same. The same yesterday, today, and forever. So regardless of what it might be, God is here. He's listening. He's there for us. I don't know how words to use to qualify God. I think everything is just it's in this song, As You Find Me, by Hillsong Worship. I think we should all listen to that song, As You Find Me. Very, very strong, very, very precise, very, very accurate as to what it is, with a story of grace. Grace and mercy, when God's grace and mercy finds us, it's not because we are deserving of it, but because He loves us. Like, He loves us so much that He gave us His only Son. That will be salvation. This is just one story of grace. So I hope this story today has helped someone one way or the other, and it has answered our series of questions. Because I feel like every single question here has been answered in, because if you even reflect back on your life, you will see that your life is nothing but the story of grace. I lost a classmate of mine a few weeks back, and I was forced to actually ask myself that, is anything special? Why him know me? Because I feel like this person is really, really intelligent. This person is serving God, like, as far this, I don't want to say this person deserves to even be alive more than I do, but let me just put it that way. And I think I was just like, God's grace, because it needs me to be alive to do something. So if you're asking the question of, am I special? What if I'm one of those people that are just there, that kind of thing? No one is just there. No one is just there. God's grace will make better decisions. Because regardless, I think there was something I did last night that I said I wasn't going to do, and then I did it. And then this morning, the devil was trying to, because I wanted to do this video today, and the devil was reminding me that, do you think you're worthy to do this? And I just told myself, Lord, I'm sorry. You've forgiven me for it. And then every day, every single day, I'm going to move forward because God's grace has found me. It's not an excuse to keep sinning, but it's a reason to keep going. It's a reason to keep fighting temptation. It's a reason to keep fighting sin every single day, because God's grace has found us exactly where we are. He doesn't need us to be where we were. He didn't need me to be what I was in 2016. He didn't need me to be what I would be in future, maybe a very, very strong Christian and that kind of thing. He just wanted me, the broken, the ashamed, the lost me. He needed me exactly the way I was, the imperfect me that others might find difficult to love. He just needed me to be exactly who I was, because He is not man. He's God. And before He formed me, He knew me. So we need to always grow in this consciousness, and let's not think that we have PhD in Christianity or in this faith journey, that you know it all. Come back as children. Come back like a child that knows it all, because I had to relearn everything once again. It renewed my heart, so I started all over again. So with my scars, I wear my scars now, and I'm like, He loves me. His grace has found me. So I'm moving on. I'm going on. That kind of thing. So if you go on today, I don't think this video is even going to end at all, because every single day you just remember what God has saved you from, what is protecting you from, and what He has forgiven you for. And I hope this video was helpful. And well, if you watched to this point, please like this video and put your comments in the comment section. Please, I would love to hear your great story. And if you haven't experienced one, trust me, I think you haven't reflected enough. Try, because we all have it. The fact that we wake up every single day, it's a great story. So share the story with me and drop your comments, whatever it may be, and please subscribe to this channel. And so I will see you guys next week, and I'm so glad you're here. Jesus loves you. I love you. So goodbye.